Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Piofiore Faded Memories, Nicola's arc. I'm so excited to be going through this with you guys. We have very narrowly escaped being killed over at the casino, so that's a thing. And then we had some stuff and yeah. So let's go ahead and see what they have in store for us now. I tried to collect my thoughts while walking through the town.
不女子連続誘拐が途絶えた後、死刑はブルローネマフィアの取り締まりを強化し始めた。それに前後して各組織の構成員が殺害される事件が発生している。死体に争った形跡はほとんどない。しかも被害は全ての組織に出ている。単なるブルローネマフィア間の抗争とは考えにくいな。おまけにファルツォーネの幹部が留置場で不審死を遂げた。これは一連の事件に端を発するものか、それとも別件なのか。
The mafia in Berlone had greater prominence than the police. A member of the mafia being found dead at the station was unprecedented. In that sense, it could be linked to the unprecedented killings happening outside.
構成員殺しと同一犯、もしくは同一組織によるものだとすれば、警察内部に犯人または協力者がいることになる。仲間を疑いたくはねえが、俺たちのうちの誰かが関わってる可能性は高い。
As I kept thinking, a black luxury car stopped next to me.
あ？おお、ダンテじゃねえか。どうした？
マルコの姿が見えたからな。車を止めさせた。
Behind Dante was a young man acting as his bodyguard. His name was Leo, was it?
話があるなら屋敷に行くぜ。ここじゃ人目につくだろ
う。構わない。ここはファルチェだ。俺の言葉を吹聴する無作法な輩はいない。
なるほど。そりゃそうか。
マルコ、お前は構成員殺しについてどう思っている？
そりゃ難しい質問だな。
俺が求めているのは警察官としての意見じゃない。一人のブルローネ市民としてお前の意見を聞かせてくれ。
I sighed briefly, then took a cigarette out of my coat.
殺されてるのはマフィアだけ。一般市民には被害は出てねえ。マフィア同士殺し合う分には粛清だろうと処刑だろうと好きにしてくれ。そう思うやつが多いんじゃねえか。所詮対岸の火事ってな。
耳の痛い話だ。
まあなんつうか、今回の件はマフィアの構成員が殺されてるだけなんだよな。それも組織を問わずだ。怨恨にしては節操がなさすぎる。俺には目的が今一つ見えてこね
え。同じことを俺の知り合いも言っていた。
例えばだぞ。今回の件、実はブルローネマフィアのいずれかが組織ぐるみで行ってたとしよう。自組織についてはまあカモフラージュついでの粛清としてな。だがそれで何の得がある？ただこの町の均衡を崩したいだけなら、そんなまだるっこしい真似をする必要はねえ。目的は金か利権か、どっちにせよブルローネマフィアをどうにかしたいんだろうよ。 それこそお前らを互いに殺し合わせたいとかな。
I shared my deductions while taking a puff of my cigarette.
相変わらずただの刑事にしておくには惜しい男だな。
そりゃどうも。引退したらファルツオーネで雇ってくれるか？
Then, suddenly, I see something flash from afar.
あれは銃口？ダンテ！
I rammed Dante into the ground and covered him with my body.
どこから？カポ、車に戻ってください。
Dante scoped the area to see where the shot was fired from. Leo grabbed him and shoved him into the car.
次はダンテか。随分と大物狙いだな。
I drew my gun out from my coat and ran into the alley where I saw the flash before.
マルコ、やめろ、オーナー。
Dante stuck his head out and yelled at me. I yelled back at him while keeping my pace.
俺はブルローネの刑事だぞ。見過ごせるわけねえだろ。
Oh no, Marco.
くそい。年は取りたくねえもんだな。
I caught my breath while scoping the area. I didn't see anyone around.
逃げられたか。
Then, suddenly,
マルコ。
ロベルト？何してんだこんなとこで。謹慎中じゃなかったか？いや、それより。
Roberto let out a smile. I felt something dark and dense climbing inside me.
いや、これはきっと思い過ごしだ。
I tried to convince myself that I wasn't thinking straight because of my lack of air.
銃を持った男を見てねえか。この辺にいたはずなんだが。
ええ、知っています。
おま、
犯罪者は人間のクズだ。救う価値などない。それもわからずマフィアに迎合しているあなたは猛録している。
Roberto looked down at me and drew his gun. He pointed a gun at me. That wasn't regulation.
だから死んだ方がいい。後の始末は俺がつけておきます。安らかに眠ってください、マルコ。
Well, that was a thing. Birds were chirping beyond the window. I need to wake myself up. I got up and looked around the room. Vivid images of what happened yesterday flowed into my mind. Just thinking about it was making me blush. I placed my hand on my chest in the hopes that my heart would calm down. My feelings... I've known all this time. What about Nicola? What did he mean by what he said? Why did he touch me? I want him to let me know. I don't want to be kept in suspense. He seemed to be busy since that night. I hadn't had a chance to see him since. If I see him today, I'll try and get this cleared once and for all. With a resolve at heart, I finally stepped out of bed. Buongiorno. I greeted the room while opening the door. The lounge was amazingly quiet. I stopped myself at the entrance, bewildered by the stillness in the air. What's going on here? The members were all directing their focus toward the middle of the lounge.
君の言いたいことはわかるよ、オリバー。けど、君が納得するような答えはあいにく持ち合わせていないんだ。
では認めるということか。
Nicola and Oliver? They weren't yelling, but they both had stern looks on their faces.
君が求めているのは真偽じゃなくて結果だろ
う。そうだ。この状況が続くのはファミリーのためにならない。
だったら僕が状況を動かす。そのためには時間が必要だ。多少の猶予くらいもらってもいいよね。
いいだろう。
Nicola looked away from Oliver and was heading toward me. Oh, is there a problem, Nicola? I saw you speaking with Oliver and... He pushed me away without a word. Just before he left, he leaned his face close to my ear and mumbled.
君の立場を悪くしたくない。しばらく距離を置こ
う。And with that, Nicola exited the lounge. I hesitantly stepped into the lounge. Oliver, what just happened?
これを見ろ。
Oliver showed me an article in the newspaper. Wait. My voice trembled. The article says that Nicola attacked Dante and killed an officer on duty there. The officer's name was... Marco was killed? Seeing his name made my heart sink. Nicola had killed Marco? I don't believe it. I mumbled in a daze, staring at the article. Oliver nodded briefly, then gave a deep sigh.
私たちとしてもこんな新聞記事を鵜呑みにするつもりはない。しかしこの記事に書かれていることすべてが嘘というわけではない。何者かがダンテ・ファルツォーネを襲撃し、居合わせた刑事を殺害し逃げた。これは紛れもない事実だ。
But Nicola wouldn't do that.
しかしブルローネ死刑は先ほどその犯人はニコラ・フランチェスカだと正式に発表した。
It can't be that can't be right.
明確な証拠でもない限り警察はこんな発表をしない。私たちを敵に回しかねないからな。
ニコラとファルツォーネの間にどういう圧力があるのか知らないが、ニコラは今ビスコンティの人間だ。勝手なことをされると困るんだよ。
むしろビスコンティで問題を起こすことがそもそもニコラの狙いなんじゃないか。あいつはもともと裏切り者だ。噂も意外と本当かも。
Rumors?
あまり憶測で物を言うな。ニコラはファミリーの一員だ。
しかしオリバ
ー、発言には責任が生じる。ニコラを仲間に招き入れたのは誰？ギルバートを侮辱する気か？
Oliver's question brought silence among the men in the lounge. I kept thinking about the article and the situation in the lounge. Something far beyond me is happening. That was all I knew for now. Some time passed. I couldn't get my thoughts straight with what happened. Some reached out to me with concern, but I couldn't grasp what they were trying to say to me. I figured there was no use for me to be in the lounge, so I saw myself out when... Oh. You're, Orlok. Orlok turned to me upon hearing me call out his name.
俺に何か
I just wanted to speak with you for a moment. Here, come into my room. It's this way. I tugged on his arm for him to follow me. Orlok followed without saying a word. I read the morning paper and it said that Nicola killed an officer, Marco. Do you know anything about this incident by chance?
知らない
Really? You're an informant, right? I figured you'd know much more than me, since I'm locked here inside the manor. Orlok looked away from me and sighed.
情報屋っていうのは情報を売って金を得る職業俺とあなたはただの顔見知りただで教えてあげる理由はない
So, how much does it cost? I have some money back at the church in my room. If it isn't enough, I'll find a way to cover it. Please?
お金はやっぱりいい
Huh?
ニコラのことは嫌いじゃないそれにあなたには教えておいた方がいいのかもって思うからお金はいらない
Thank you, Orlok. I gave a great smile hearing his words. Orlok looked at me, and for a second, I thought I saw the faintest trace of a smile.
刑事が殺されたのは本当ブルローネ死刑のマルコ・カルデローニ
Marco. I still couldn't believe he was killed, even after hearing Orlok confirm his name.
続けていい
Yes. I felt a sharp pain in my heart, but I nodded to let him continue.
マルコは死の間際に言い残したニコラにやられたって
It can't be.
マルコは署内でも人望が厚かったし市民にも人気があっただから警察は黙ってられない今回は相手が誰であろうと謙虚に持ち込むつもりで動いてるそれより今は噂の方が良くない
Huh? I recalled something about a rumor earlier.
噂は怖い風評はすぐ真実になるマフィアは町の人から尊敬と畏怖を集めることで成立してるだから尊敬されないマフィアは世間から殺される社会的に
I could see what he's saying, especially considering Berlone's background. I clenched my fists. I mustered the strength to ask Orlok. What is this rumor about?
ニコラがダンテを殺そうとして失敗したって思われてるだから最近立て続けに起きてるブルローネマフィアの構成員殺しそれにもニコラが絡んでるんじゃないかって
That can't be possible.
それは俺も知ってるだけど町の人はそう思ってない火のないところにも煙は立つ誰かが面白半分に言い出したこともそれなりに信憑性があれば人はそれが真実だと思うようになる
That's horrible. Then again, I understood what he meant. Various people came to the church. Rumors also followed them. Sometimes baseless rumors would spread like wildfire as if it were truth. Isn't there anything that can be done?
幹部のニコラが ファミリーを裏切った。それは多分あなたが想像している以上に大変なこと。だからその時点でもう町の人たちからの尊敬を損なってたと思う。ニコラが裏切ったのはダンテに対する不満があったから。ニコラの目的はダンテを殺してファルツォーネのカポになること。ずっとダンテのそばにいたのだって寝首をかく機会を狙ってたから。町ではそう言われてる。
But why did Nicola betray the Falzone family? I didn't know the answer to that, which is why I couldn't refute what he was saying. But something isn't right. If he really wanted to become the boss, he wouldn't have betrayed the family. Even if Dante were killed, there's no way he'd be welcomed back to the Falzone, especially after his betrayal.
それとファルツォーネの先代のカポが暗殺されたって噂は知ってる？
Yes, I recall that rumor vividly. And I knew now that the assassination was indeed fact.
あの噂にもまた火がついた。
Why would it? I stopped mid-sentence and thought a while. Wait, don't tell me that people are saying that Nicola killed the previous boss.
昔からずっとファルツォーネの乗っ取りを企んできたんじゃないかって。
How dare they?
俺が話せるのはこれだけ。じゃあ。
With that, Orlok turned his back to me and headed to the door. I had no words to say to hold him back. I continued thinking, alone in my room.
あの日はちょうどニコラ坊ちゃんが留守にしていた晩でしてね。
Nicola wasn't at the manor the night the previous boss was assassinated. That's what Julia said. But
先代が亡くなった時、ダンテは真っ先に駆け寄って遺体にすがって泣いていた。
Nicola worded it in a way that sounded like he saw what happened that night.
「俺にできるのはこれくらい。
I could only hope that the accusations would disappear. I really shouldn't take sides.
よ、情報や。
I stopped in my tracks and slowly turned around. I sensed his presence, but I didn't expect him to stop me.
お前に依頼があるんだ。ちょっと話さねえか。
依頼？今日はよく呼び止められる。
報告があります。
大方、巷の噂話のことだろう。
はい。組織内の一派に彼を担ぎ出そうとする動きがあります。カポにはニコラ・フランチェスカの方がふさわしいのではないかと考える派閥があるようで。
ニコラは優秀な男だからな。部下の面倒もよく見ていた。厳しくはあったが。だからこそ、ファミリーを離れた今も一定の人望があるか。
おっしゃる通りです、カポ。そして最初から裏切り者として彼を処罰していればよかったと幹部の中からも不満を持つ者が出ています。カポの判断は間違っていたのではないかと。
なるほど。
このままでは危険です。組織の内外にはっきりと示すためにも、彼を、ニコラ・フランチェスカを粛清すべきではないかと。
The time to decide was drawing near. I finally understood why I felt something was odd about that line back then. A new day has arrived. I went to the lounge first thing in the morning, but Nicola was nowhere to be found. Did he step out already? It was obvious that he'd avoided the crowd. Still, I hoped I would be able to see him. My shoulders dropped with disappointment.
ちょっといいか?
Buongiorno, Gil. Is there a problem?
あんた、そろそろ教会の様子でも気になってるんじゃねえかと思ってな。今日の午後、俺は礼拝に行く予定だ。一緒に行くか?
My eyes widened at Gil's invitation. I had completely forgotten about my home, with all the things happening around me. Yes, please. Thank you, Gil. I gave a bright smile and Gil smiled back at me. Oh, but is it okay for me to go outside?
あんたの件については会合で結論が出てる。他の組織が手を出してくるようなことはねえはずだ。
I see. I breathed a sigh of relief. I could finally go to church and see Sister Sophia and everyone else there. Just thinking about it lifted my spirits. It feels like it's been forever. Simply knowing that I was standing here made my heart swell with joy.
俺は聖堂に行く。あんた、シスターと話がしたいんだろ?
Yes. I think she may be in the rectory now.
おい、彼女について行ってやれ。任せてください、ギル。
Gil ordered one of his men to follow me. Thank you, Gil. I'll see you later. I gave my sincere thanks and headed to the rectory. Sister Sophia. I ran as quickly as I could toward her. Sophia embraced me firmly within her arms. I'm so happy. Being able to feel her warmth like this, it's so comforting.
ずっと心配していました。あなたがファルツォーネの保護下を離れたと聞いて。何か不自由はありませんでしたか?
Yes, I'm fine. The Visconti family is taking great care of me. But Gil only brought me here for today while he's visiting, so I need to go back.
そうですか。
I might not be able to come again for a while, but please, don't worry about me. Sophia had a worried look on her face, but she nodded, hearing my words.
わかりました。あなたに神のご加護がありますように。
Thank you, Sister Sophia. Sophia told me about all sorts of things during the little time I had with her. That Elena was almost finished with her rehabilitation, that the Falzone family was still keeping watch of the area, and that, as Orlok said, the people in town were all speaking ill of Nicola and treating him as some kind of evil. I bid farewell to Sister Sophia and waited for Gil outside the church with my bodyguard.
待て。
Roberto? The last I saw him was back when we had the meeting at the casino. I kept my guard up as I turned toward him.
彼女に何の用だ?
俺は警察だ。マフィアに用はない。下がっていろ。
He glanced at me. It'll be okay. I responded with a nod. Those two getting into an argument would only make matters worse for the Visconti. I heard about Marco. My condolences.
ああ、死んだマルコのためにも、俺は必ずフランチェスカを逮捕する。お前を保護してやる。今すぐビスコンティを、あの犯罪者のそばを離れろ。このままでは危険だ。
I responded to Roberto. No, I'm quite fine. I'm going to stay with Nicola. I bluntly refused Roberto's offer. I want to be with Nicola. After all this time, I finally understood why I wanted to be with him. I was in love.
あいつはニコラ・フランチェスカはダンテ・ファルツォーネを殺そうとした。自分がずっと仕えてきた相手をだ。お前も利用価値がなくなればすぐ殺される。それがわからないのか。
Roberto's words weren't swaying me. I felt surprisingly calm and serene inside. You're wrong. Nicola wasn't the perpetrator.
なぜそう言い切れる？
Nicola still cares about Dante immensely to this day. Someone else tried to kill Dante.
お前は汚れてしまったんだな。
Roberto looked down at me with cold eyes. I felt a shiver run down my spine.
何をしてる？
Suddenly, Gil's stern voice cut through the air. He stepped in between us to block Roberto's advancement.
待たせたな。さっさと帰ろうぜ。じきに夕食の時間だ。
Yes. Gil beckoned me to follow him. I sensed something and turned around. Roberto stood there in silence. He wasn't trying to stop us, but he was glaring at us with the same hatred-filled eyes from that night. Alright, that's a good stopping point. I have a few concerns. One of my favorite characters has passed away. Yep, that's a thing. So, feel free to comment below. Let me know how you're feeling, what you think, and oh my goodness gracious, Roberto. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go ahead, hit that thumbs up if you liked what you saw today, and hit that big red shiny button to subscribe. Anyways, I hope you have a great rest of whatever time of day it is for you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.